10 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Hello everybody and welcome back to our last game of the ESL One qualifier tonight. Also the last game of the round of 16, where we find out who will be that final team that will actually end. This sounds really weird when I say it this way. We're ending the round of 16 to find out who the final 16 teams are. That's because it's the quarterfinals of both the European as well as North American region, which gives us our last 16 teams battled out for the two positions, one for America, I should say North America and South America and a whole bunch of the surrounding regions, as well as the European division, which also includes CIS. You know, we're just so inclusive. But that is what we're doing right now. Who will advance forward? Let's find out in this best of three. Joining me is my American expert. It is Blaze. Greetings.
Are you ready for some football? Okay, I think
Are you ready for some Super Bowl? No, because I hate Super Bowl.
All right, so...
I seriously, I hate that game. You want to play a real game? Pick up Aussie rules, AFL, the real game. Even
it's okay,
NRL is better than that. I'll even say rugby is better than that. And yes, I will agree for all the Americans out there about to say our sports stars are so much more like they're just physically built better and it takes a lot of skill to do what they do. I'm like, I don't disagree with you, but it's just the game.
Right, but honestly, they don't even play the game anymore, man. They're playing ads. That's what they do in the Super Bowl. You just play commercials. You get a couple of people throwing the ball around in the breaks.
Hey, wait. We could do this Super Bowl style. Do I nipple it?
Oh boy.
My shirt doesn't go that far. I'm sorry. I don't have the hand of Justin Timberlake.
Man, you were ready for this one.
Never forget.
10 seconds remaining.
There's some people in Twitch chat that don't even know what you're talking about. They're too young.
5 seconds remaining.
Wait, what? That was only like 3-4 years ago, right?
I think it's like 8, probably. I don't know.
Really?
It's time flies, dude.
Holy crap, I'm old. Let's talk about young things. Let's talk about Dota. Oh wait, it's old too. Let's talk about draft. It's interesting to see. I was wondering if paiN would ban out the Invoker in the first two, just because like Greedy actually played a really good Invoker in the previous game, even though he did beat First Blood. It looks like paiN's gonna take it themselves.
10
Dude,
seconds
I just looked it
remaining.
up. It's 12 years ago. Okay, I gotta focus on the game now because that is blowing my mind.
Really, 12?
Yeah. Holy crap.
Reserve time.
I don't even know, dude.
How do I even know about that? I was living in Australia at the time. Like, I don't know anything when I'm...
You tell Sumail or Arteezy, they would have no idea.
They were probably in preschool when that happened.
Dire team ban.
That's
Oh my! I don't feel as bad when I got up this afternoon and my body was aching. I don't feel as bad anymore.
All right, so about this draft here, we've got Infamous, we've got paiN, the Peruvians versus the Brazilians. Just talking about these teams a little bit, that both of them have been able to take games off of one another back and forth, but overall haven't played all that much on the patch in this context. Like Infamous, they are really solid against South American teams. They seem to be struggling against North American ones. They beat Void Boys, lost to Archon. It's not an easy run, but Power Friendship are the team that actually gave them the most difficulty recently. And they were surprisingly able to triumph over them very recently in WePlay. So fatigue will start setting in, but overall they're probably riding high off the win. And they're going to look to build up their strategy. And I was going to talk about this if we had time, but the Super Bowl references are much more high priority. But
dude, you got all the time in the world. Relax and speak your mind.
All right, so this Bounty Hunter pick, most people look at that and be like, first phase Bounty Hunter, are these guys insane? But it's actually a really strong pick in this matchup because both Z-Talk as well as Tail both love this hero. They are able to build a lot of gold momentum with it, and almost all of the South American drafts are very kill intensive. Like the last game that some people were watching on WePlay had like Ogre, Invoker, and Skywrath Maze. Like, it's all about just bursting people down, blowing people up, and getting kill momentum that way. And that's how you get your carries online, rather than farming 300 last
10
hits. So
seconds remaining.
it's definitely going to be creating a dynamic setting, and the Bounty Hunter thrives in
5
environments
seconds
where kills are
remaining.
being traded back and forth.
Do they run it as a like? What kind of
Reserve time.
play do they do? Like when they run it? Like, is this meant to be a support bounty hunter that just like infiltrates the jungle or ganks up mid? Like, how do they make this work? Because I'm concerned when you got both a bounty and a Crystal Maiden that you don't have any
Reserve
real
time.
true support control there.
Dire team pick.
I definitely agree with that. That's certainly a limiting factor. I feel like maybe the CM stays out of the jungle. Like, if she is doing absolutely nothing else, she'll go ahead and frostbite some creeps, but otherwise she probably turns into a lane support. And that Bounty Hunter probably is going to mess with that Invoker if he has the Sentry Ward advantage. So Bounty Hunter will start with 2 sentries, Invoker probably starts with 1, and in that case, it should be Z-Talk getting control of the mid lane and trying to make those ganks happen early.
10
But
seconds remaining.
obviously, if there is a jungler, if there was a Chen on the board or
5
something, then he'd be
seconds remaining.
annoying the hell out of him and just kind of doing that. But for the most part, I expect he's going to be this 4-position bounty hunter starting in the off lane, but roaming on mid like 3 times in 6 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this closely, man. Now that you've highlighted it for me, I want to watch it closely. Because for Crystal Maidens, it seems like you don't even need 9 Talon to make her work in the jungle. Frostbite's just so damn good there. And to power level her up, I want to see heroes which are able to make the most out of her aura, or heroes which she can fight against with her Nova as well as her Frostbite to control nicely. And like, the Frostbite is wonderful against heroes like Darkseer and Spiritbreaker when they're surging or charging in, as long as you have vision. Critical part, as long as you have vision. But all other times, I'm worried she just becomes food. Like, Darkseer and Spiritbreaker are very tanky, so she controls them, but then someone else has to follow up. So the Templar Assassin needs a good start. That's going to be difficult when you're going up against a Quas Exort Invoker, who is going to be walking around with a bunch of Forge Spirits, and probably just taking off all of your shielding. Darkseer, if he puts 9 Shell on Spiritbreaker, charges the TA, shields are also gone.
10
Someone buys a
seconds
Necro book,
remaining.
building even more problems for TA, unless she's able to hit that BKB timing.
Radiant team pick.
It's... yeah. I'm a little concerned with the Infamous lineup. I see a lot of weaknesses which can be exploited by paiN Gaming's current 3 heroes. If they can find a way to zone out the Tidehunter as well, then this game is going to get very, very interesting. Interesting meaning this is over in 25-30 minutes.
Yeah, but I think the Tide's going to be a pretty safe pick. Like, with Kraken Shell and Anchor
10
Smash, there's
seconds
not that much
remaining.
you can do with just a Spirit Breaker and whoever else to try to zone him out hard.
5
He'll probably get his
remaining.
levels, he'll get some gold, and that means that you can maybe stack the Ancients for the TA instead of the Tide. They're both going to be hungry for the Ancient
Reserve
stacks, but
time.
I would say TA is probably the hero you wanted on more. And there were a lot of nerfs to just the chain stacking of creeps in just the most recent patch 6.86, and I feel like TA is one of the heroes that was hit the least on that, because still the Ancients are about the same. The Ancient Black Dragons, of course, provide that armor aura, but they have for a while, and she still seems to be quite effective in play. And I actually want to also keep an eye on the Crystal Maiden's build here. If she goes for like 2 in Arcane Aura early, if she goes like 1-1-2, then that's going to really help everybody on the team. They're not like super mana hungry, but they all can definitely benefit as a quality of life factor, just to have that continuous mana flow, more usages of refraction, more anchor smashes, more shadow walks, etc. It's going to help a lot.
Yeah, I can see that point. I'm interested to see like who paiN Gaming is now going to pick as their number 1 position, and their second support. Because the second support for me should be the one that zones out the Tidehunter. Hilariously enough, maybe you can answer this one too. Why is Chen not being touched at all? I know the Bounty Hunter was very early picked up, so it's not really that appealing for paiN Gaming to grab it. But for both teams to avoid it in the first 2, to pick the Bounty Hunter over someone like the Chen, who is like the hero
10 seconds
in
remaining.
the current meta, why would they do such a thing?
5 seconds remaining.
It's actually pretty interesting, but neither one really highly prioritizes the Chen. Like, the Enchantress is actually a pretty common pick for the offlane, but as far as just a support juggling it up, the Chen doesn't seem that valuable. I mean,
they don't
yeah,
play micro base.
They're not as intent on it. Like I said, they're very intent on just going for quick burst damage. And while the Chen obviously has that
10
potential if he
seconds
gets the right
remaining.
creep spawns, we haven't seen a lot of it from them. It's been pretty
5
understated.
seconds remaining.
Especially
Of course,
in South America, like up here is which function on high ping.
Radiant
That's true.
team
That's very
back.
true, actually. And I would have to give paiN the benefit of the fact that they are up against a Bounty Hunter and a Crystal Maiden, two heroes that are really good against Chen early on. So I would say that paiN wouldn't really want it in their draft anyways. But yeah, Infamous definitely had that option, and they decided to go for a
10
different route.
seconds
But
remaining.
the CM. It is this kind of interesting wild card. She has the ability to cancel
5
Spear Breaker
seconds
Charge. She has the
remaining.
ability to counter things like Darkseer Surge. But otherwise, she's kind of just a walking
Reserve
aura for a
time.
long, long time. So obviously, the Ravage and the Freezing Field, if you can sync those
Dire
ultimates up
team pick.
and actually keep it alive, that's going to be a really great spell to bring to the fights. But yeah, overall, there are just so many other supports that I would actually put in that 5 position that you can be confident your safe laner is going to be okay.
If it wasn't right now for a hero like a Tidehunter, I would actually consider something like a Slark for paiN Gaming. So I'm thinking like, what is able to lane against the Tidehunter?
10
What can actually
seconds
shrug off the
remaining.
track? And just basically hunt that Crystal Maiden.
5
Slark is one of the
seconds
first
remaining.
things that comes to my mind. This line for paiN. I don't know if they run him that much.
Radiant team pick.
I love how it just stopped mid-sentence there, but yeah, that's definitely an interesting pick here. What I'm looking at is like,
Why?
I'm actually thinking they're just dead in the top lane. Like, if you look at it, it's Darkseer Spirit Breaker versus Necrophos CM. Like, even if the Bounty Hunter comes to help, which he didn't want to do, like, you have two heroes that have extremely low base movement speed. Anytime they go away from the tower, they are going to be gunned down by double Iron
10
Shield
seconds
Charge
remaining.
and an Orb of Venom. And now they pick up the Wraith King, where it's like, okay, you can ult me, you can ult the carry, and it doesn't mean squat.
You basically blow everything you've got to get the initial kill. It's not even a high magic armor, like a magic dealing lineup. The Templar Assassin's burst damage still relies directly on the meld. Necro relies on getting his scythe off, but like you pick up a Necro, which will be able to sustain the lane against Iron Shells from the Darkseer, but he'll never be able to zone out the Darkseer, because Darkseer just sits at range throwing out Iron Shells. He still gets his farms, he still gets his levels without having to come in range of the fucking Death Aura. I'm liking paiN's draft right now. I feel like their lane function is going to be beautiful, and Infamous, prove me wrong. I hope you prove me
10
wrong, because I
seconds
want this lineup to work. It's got potential, but only if they get early momentum in the lanes, and that's probably the biggest problem I feel in their setup.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to actually check out those lanes, because one thing I didn't mention is that Infamous do swap out their roles quite frequently. They're able to kind of change who's going to be playing primarily the... it's just like so different between the mentalities here, but it looks like Stinger will be taking that offlane role. Kataro is going to be looking to take the Necro safe.
I am actually going to shut down my Dota because I'm unable to use the mini.
"30 seconds to battle. The battle begins.
Ill-gotten gains.
Lanes, the old clockwork rocket kind of build, and my mini map works. I'm back in again. Joy, happy.
Alrighty, so already keeping tabs on Z-Talk here. He's going to be roaming the Bounty Hunter towards mid, but you see the healing salve got dropped on the ground. Then just going to be the human courier, and that's going to make it so that there is no snipe possibility.
Maiden's in a bit of an interesting spot. This is where those double iron shells start to push back the Necro. At least CM can use that new path to her advantage. Just one of those lanes where I'm waiting for the crazy dive to happen. You're running a Tidehunter versus a Wraith King. Now this is actually a nice matchup for the Tidehunter. Anchor Smash is terrific up against someone like a Wraith King. Gotta find a lot of farm. If he gets his levels, he goes up to Kraken Shell. Everything should be hunky-dory for him.
I would still say that the dual lane up top is going to get more done than the Tidehunter solo down bottom, but you're right. Like, Avenge and a Wraith King putting everything they have shouldn't be able to kill the Tide if he's keeping his health pool nice and high. Because, like, the Kraken Shell, once he gets level 2, versus compared to the Magic Missile and that Wraith Fire Blast, just doesn't do enough, generally speaking. But, you know, you add in a charge there when the Spearbird hits 2, and maybe you keep him on his toes. But for now, Z-Talk is kind of in his prime. Orb of Venom and the Janata. He's not able to pick up the courier, so now he's just going to try to make somebody's life miserable.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a Wraith King that's going to have his life being made miserable. That's really going to be all. Like, I'm primarily looking for Tide hit that level 6. Like, I'm waiting for paiN to group up as this 6, so they come in for the gank, and then instant rebuttal from Infamous. They just charge down, they TP multiple heroes and just go for it. Stinger's maybe biting off a lot more than he can chew. You got a Mango charge available here for 40R, so if he wants to go for it, he could, but problem is the rest of his teammates are a little bit too far away. So finding this damage, they've got enough. They're going to be able to do it. But
Unfortunate there.
Wasn't fully in that.
Yeah, of course not, but just enough. It's like, okay, he goes just far enough. Actually going to be seeing a Meteor whiff, but still with the Spirit Breaker in position with the Haste Rune, he's going to get a quick freebie for the Invoker.
17%. Able to hit the perfect stun at the perfect time. That's so dangerous. Like, we talked about how critical it was the Templar Assassin go off to a good start. Otherwise, she did. But now, got to keep that momentum up. She's not going to miss too much out of the mid lane, but it's the Invoker having a little bit more room to breathe, and he was the one to get that kill too.
Now we're just going to be, I mean, the Invoker's doing okay here. I mean, he's still going to be able to, with that kill, move himself up towards some nice levels of Exhort. He'll get Midas and Forge Spirit at a pretty solid timing. I feel like Z-Talk already, like, he needs to start pressing harder. Right now, being 0-0-0 on the Bounty Hunter with the Arcane Aura to help things out, you just have to get more done. The Sentry Ward now spots him out, and again, his rotation bottom is useless. This is kind of sad for the Bounty Hunter.
It's kind of what you expect, though. Like, you don't have a jungler which you can just leech off, and paiN did the best thing they could do. They were prepared for the Bounty Hunter to come into an unfortunate position. The problem is, like, is he going to walk? He's not going to walk back. That's silly. For a moment, like he was going to. But that's still the point where a Bounty understands, like, he can't be too aggressive or else he just starts feeding, falls behind too far. The Spirit Breaker at this point is probably going to die. He's going to deny himself up, wait for the tick. Necro took the aggro of the creeps. I don't think he didn't attack the creeps, so they switched their aggro to the Necro.
Well, the more you know. Now we see the Necrophos get that free Sadist and go right back to the lane with half HP and more importantly full mana here. But the Arcane Aura now level 2, that means Necrophos is going to be able to use his Death Bolts a lot more frequently. Of course, it's not the most efficient, but actually going to see mid go before top.
Watch out the Invoker. Top lane engagement you were talking about was the charge coming onto a cell. It's going to arrive from the Spirit Breaker. He's already got the Iron Shell on him. We need a little bit more control here. The double Iron Shells aren't doing it. The Frost Nova, in fact, pushed them back a little bit further with the Death Pulse, and you've still got that tick going. Spirit Breaker ends up dying.
This lane matchup should not play out this way. I feel like it's kind of on Theolicor, the fact that he's just been so aggressive against this Necro. He's eating a lot of damage, not really respecting the damage of potential Death Pulse, because as I was going to mention is, there's like, it's so much more damage than it is healing. Like you see the Necrophos get a little bit of a HP boost, but it does more than twice as much in terms of damage output, and you just got to respect that, even if you have a lot of raw HP like a Spirit Breaker does.
Bounty Hunter is again underneath that Sentry Ward.
Okay.
He's going to charge in at the moment. Some reason the Dire Courier just got sniped.
The Trolls got it. They got that neutrals got aggroed and they killed the damn Courier. That is so sad.
Very unfortunate considering what it had on it. It had a bloody hand of Midas.
Oh god. I would be so pissed, honestly. And that's for the Necrophos too. Like, Necrophos is a hero that can benefit from Midas in so many ways. My favorite build on Necro is actually Midas into Octarine Core. So you get the 25% cooldown reduction on your Midas, and you get your level 16 out faster than any other possible way.
And that was to take a magic wand to the bottom lane as well. That was the sacrifice you made to transfer that courier. Darkseer is now gonna die on the top, so at least Necro is getting something out of it. But
yes,
imagine where he would be if he had the Hand of Midas. He's already a full 1,000 net worth in front of the Invoker as well as the Wraith King. Like, as you said, like that top lane it didn't play out the way we thought it was going to play out because we thought the Darkseer would be a lot more passive and understand that he had lane supremacy. And when you did gank, you come with the VS under the cover of smoke and the SB charging in with Iron Shells. This is the way to play it. And now they go over towards the Templar Assassin. They're using the Darkseer in this lane to try and make this work, but the Crystal Maiden now can turn onto the Spirit Breaker. There's no... Oh man, Invoker was on the other end of that! He lined himself up. That was a very obvious angle, and Greedy, well, he got gifted that. 2 quick hero kills, and now they can damage the mid tower. Oh my!
Very, very unfortunate play there from the Invoker, just mispositioning entirely. You just gotta think of it like a Wind Ranger at times. Like, just don't line up the Shackle, don't line up the side blades, or you're gonna really regret it. And this Invoker already just losing so much on the lane. 25 last hits, sure, but he's 1 and 2. And the TA is getting her good start now, and the Necrophos, despite the Midas delays, is gonna find his too.
Oh my god, this is Elite Dota. Not just about the draft, it's about how you execute it. And it's been executed pretty nicely from Infamous because of the space that paiN Gaming has given them. And that's something we saw in their WePlay match just previously. They do capitalize on the space that is given.
Most definitely. It's actually pretty interesting because I thought the Bounty Hunter would be a big prime player. Like, being able to move, being able to gank heroes like Invoker and create opportunities, I thought that would be a big deal. But he's been sitting down bottom, but there's a Wraith King. Oh, there is also 2 heroes going on to Greedy. The refraction's gone, but he's okay.
Help! They have no detection. Well, actually, they have dust on the Spirit Breaker, but they didn't trigger it. Now with the side blades, the Spirit Breaker, oh, he can't even charge himself away. He's gonna get Meld Strike down by the Templar Assassin. There's another chase going on, which is the Bounty getting a solo kill on the Vengeful Spirit. And this thing just went pear-shaped.
Just rack them up, man. 8-2, massive kill influx going the way of Infamous. The Midas now finally coming out onto Kataro, and his net worth continues to grow. He is almost 2k ahead of this Invoker, and he is just going to get huge. I mean, even if he just ulties the Invoker every time that he gets the chance, that's still putting him down in the grave for 30 extra seconds. And there's not going to be a Glimmer Cape or anything to save him anytime soon. The mechanism is the only thing.
Worth. Actually, can he get this? It's a level 3 Shuriken toss. He needs the Janata hit to come out there. That's right, you call him Z-Tok?
Yeah.
That's how he's pronounced?
I believe so.
Okay. I was waiting for Ravish to be triggered off there by the Tidehunter. It may seem weird to say that, but to put Reincarnation level 1 on the cooldown is 100% worth it, but this is why they didn't have to use it. It's too easy. They can stun on the Tidehunter, but now he can blow the Ravish. That Darkseer is there pretty damn low, but then again, does he even have to do that? Okay, yep, the answer is yes. The Vengeful Spirit's almost dead. The track is up on him, so they understand where he's moving. The Frostbite will keep the Wraith King in position. The Sunstrike, a little bit off target. It doesn't hit onto Stinger. Now the Necro has arrived. There's no mana. Okay, yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Darkseer down for a minute. Vengeful Spirit will be away to safety. Now this is going to get a little bit brutal. Greedy is now just even chasing the Invoker underneath his tier 2 tower, forcing him to burn the Ghost Walk. And Z-Tok is next to the Spirit Break. I don't know, he can chip him, but that's going to be a waste of mana. He just puts a new track on instead.
And I don't even think the Tide needed to Ravage there, of course, but he just, with the Magic Stick, with the track movement speed, got himself to safe distance, and was like, wait a second, we can turn this, we can kill, and it actually would have gone a lot smoother, except millisecond that the freezing field was activated from Crystal Maiden, it was immediately stunned up by the Wraith Kick. She didn't even actually drop a single icicle, but nevertheless, still infamous. Really happy to keep that Darkseer off the map. A hero that naturally farms really quickly once he hits that level 6, level 7 range. But they have the track, they will see the Ghost Walk, and they will kill off the Invoker once more.
They made that a lot harder than it needed to be. There will be at least a revenge. There should be a revenge kill here. And in fact, there will be with the extra bash. TP out from the Spirit Breaker. Crystal Maiden got herself trapped, so she couldn't get there in time to put down the Frostbite. But it's still a Bounty Hunter with a track kill for an Invoker.
And the blink is up for the Necrophos. Oh man, he's doing so well right now. Level 11 is about to peak. You want the blink dagger when you hit level 11, and you're just able to follow through on anything your team sets up.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Infamous or paiN that you said had a recent trouble with their games, as in like finding victories.
So paiN, it has had trouble in general. Infamous has only had trouble in the North American region. South American, they're pretty much dominant, but there's a bunch of North American teams that have their number right now. So both of them trying to kind of break out of a bit of a slump, but in like these Peruvian or Brazilian matches, Infamous are still extremely confident.
Yeah. Oh, they should be after what's happening right now. Like everything just seems to be working for them. Apart from maybe a bit of a slip up. No, he's still going to get to the haste rune in time. And then there's a regeneration rune as well. He just picked up a haste rune. Do you want to help at anyone? The Templar Assassin just died in top river. She bought her Deso before death, however. So while there is a lot of money, almost 700 gold going into that Darkseer, which will help him not complete it, but get pretty damn close to the mech. They still don't put the TA backwards. And not making the T, like slowing up the TA is such a huge thing, especially when you're running her on the Dire side. Like you've already got the Roshan advantage. There's 4 heroes trying to push the middle and force an issue here against a team which has Ravage up and an unchecked Bounty Hunter as well. Bounty's already rotating off the top lane, even though the creep wave's hitting the tier 1. This should already flag to paiN that Infamous is moving to get aggressive.
Most likely. I will note that although the TA did not lose anything really from that death, the Darkseer got a hell of a lot. He just got his mechanism off of that kill. Suddenly he gets that 700 gold boost, and he's actually sitting on the mech, which I think is essential if they're going to get themselves back into this game. They need to be able to survive, to prevent deaths, to minimize the track output, and to also limit the potential of that Reaper Scythe.
Here they go. Negative 12, negative 15 armor over on Roshan. The Sunstrike will scout it out. The Observer Board also did see it too, but that's been taken away. There's a regeneration rune that still needs to be picked up. Looks like the Bounty was tanking it for a while, so he's going to end up taking the regeneration rune. Refraction's keeping Greedy alive. And there is no desire from paiN to stop this. I'm also looking for the TP scrolls, which are really missing at the moment. It was dropped by Greedy because he wanted the Aegis Immortal, but there's only 2 other heroes in Infamous that have TPs. To see who would defend the top lane, but like Zetok just drew a line on bottom lane saying he wants to go for the tier 2.
I don't blame them. I mean, right now their team fight is so strong. They've got major ultimates to fight with. Any kill they get is, you know, almost worth double with the track. And then, of course, you've got the mechanism coming out on Titanner in just a moment here. So you get one pick, you turn into a tower push, you just get more and more and more. And it's not like paiN can push that quickly. The Invoker does now have Forge Spirits, but that's it. Otherwise, our lineup is just not built to take objective swiftly.
Now the crazy thing is, with paiN's like warning, the 4 sentry line that they have covered is at the wrong time for this. Because Infamous got so aggressive, they have no control over their jungle. That ward line is, well, it's about a quarter of the map to the right, too far. And now they're going to find a catch out. It's 40R, who's a little bit further up. At least his reincarnation's back off cooldown. But I'm sorry to say for him, it's about to go back on to cooldown. There's a level 4 Shuriken toss going to fly his way. Even bounces over to the Vengeful Spirit and to the Spirit Breaker. They saw a lot of what was going on. And Infamous just want to fly from the trees. They're in range for the Ravage. The TA is going to go in. And Dinger, well, let it go, bro. No, now he does. Finally, they walk through the Darkseer wall to make it happen. Oh my. Oh, that damage is unstoppable.
That mech didn't come out until the last second. The Darkseer used all of his spells, realized that even with his Magic Stick and Soul Ring, he still didn't have mana for the mechanism. He couldn't do a damn thing in that fight. and they just are going to walk it into the high ground here. 15 minutes into the game, Infamous have over 10,000 net worth in their favor, and they are easily going to be able to direct their attention to this tower. I mean, the meteor's on cooldown for 18 seconds, the wall's gone. Infamous, are they? Is there any hope of stopping them?
You've given a lineup with one of the greatest momentum-based heroes, Templar Assassin, like, so much momentum. They take this melee racks as well. All they have to do is wait until the next Ravage, take outer towers in the meantime, and that's pretty much it. Greedy still has this Aegis Immortal 2. Refraction's up, they're charging out. They've got to keep these tracks up, however, from TikTok to make this worth it. With a Shuriken toss bounce damage, they're doing a lot of early work, and the Scythe puts the Spirit Breaker in the sidelines for a minute. This bottom rack is guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a 5v4. He is out of the game, and the bouncing of the Shuriken, it's an AoE spell now, boys, and King RD.
So much work, GG! It's GG!
Wow.
What a momentum game! Okay, my last series I cast for ESL One lasted a grand total for the entire series was 40 minutes of game time. If we have another game like that, we're gonna beat it. But that was such momentum from Infamous. That was odd plays in the lane by paiN as well.
I really got to draw the attention to the top lane. Well, the Bounty Hunter didn't really get that much done. He did try, and he did force at least the Venge to stay bottom. But the big thing was how that Spiritbreaker Darkseer matchup played out against the Necro CM. Because although there are some ways where, obviously, there are ways